Hey guys, welcome back to WatchGauge. Sean Keel here. So a lot of people have been texting me, messaging me regarding the pre-order for the new Nackens, or I should say for the existing Nackens, the Nacken Blue, with a date and without a date, as well as the black, and the pre-order for the brand new Nazario, which is a WatchGauge exclusive. So I figured I'd make a quick video, kind of give you a closer look at the NTH subs that we're offering. Real quick backstory, if you haven't heard it, which I think you might have, but a real quick backstory is the NTH Nacken Blue and the Nacken Black, the Modern Blue and the Modern Black, have been sold out for quite some time. It gained in popularity when TGV of the Urban Gentry bought one for himself. He did an unboxing video, and then all of a sudden my messages and emails and things like that started going bananas for people saying, when are we going to get them back? So I worked with Chris Vale. We're offering the NTH Nacken Blue, Modern Blue, with a date and without a date, as well as the Modern Black with a date and without a date on a pre-order basis. And then something I had in my mind and I talked with Chris about a few months ago is doing a WatchGauge exclusive watch, which he's never made before. He's making for WatchGauge, called the Nazario, which is a homage or a tribute to one of the rarest Rolexes ever made, called the Rolex Zero Graph. So that's the backstory. We're running a pre-order on these watches from now till December 15th. Once that window closes, we're cutting it off. We're placing our order with the factory to have them built. So if you're interested at all, check out WatchGauge.com. You'll see NTH pre-orders there. Click on that. You'll see the 5 pieces that are available. So they are going to be very limited. The Nazario particularly is going to be extremely limited. If people order 20 of them, only 20 will get made. If people order 40 of them, only 40 will get made. But at the end of the day, I don't see hundreds of them being made. So if you do order one of those pieces, you're going to be one of the very lucky few to ever have them, because I don't know, or I doubt that we'll ever make them again. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you a closer look at the NTH subs, a couple of different models that I have available here, as well as the ones that are on pre-order. And hey, look, man, if you guys like them, jump on it now, because now's the time, because after that, they're gone. All right? So let's get a closer look. So here we are, guys. There's a couple versions of the NTH subs here in front of me. Just going from left to right, we have the Barracuda, we've got the Santa Fe, the Santa Cruz, and of course the Nacken Blue, no date here. This is my personal watch, so I wear it on a strap. I'm not much of a bracelet guy, and it may be not the cleanest in the world, because I actually wear it quite a bit. So I apologize if there's anything that's not super clean about this piece. So let's kind of get into what makes this watch pretty special. Obviously, you know, not to get into any kind of arguments or any kind of stir up anything. This watch, this whole collection is an homage. It really is, in the true sense of the word. I know that word gets tossed around a lot on forums and groups and things like that, but the truth of the matter is there's a heavy inspiration here in the subs collection based on watches that have come before. Particularly Chris Vale from NTH will tell you his inspiration for the subs were the divers watches from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, the vintage Tudors, the vintage Rolexes and Omegas and things like that. But there are certainly things that stand out that make it quite a bit different, that make it more unique, that make it new and fresh, which is very refreshing, because it's not a one-to-one copy of anything that did come before it. So just kind of to go into a couple of the specs, a couple of the particulars about the watch that make it special in my mind. Now, first of all, my favorite part of the NTH subs is the case itself, the size, the wearability, and things like that. And let me explain, because it's tough to really grasp looking at this on a video screen, you know, a computer screen, or looking at pictures of it. It's extremely tough to grasp But what's really surprising to me and what is really special to me is the thickness of the watch. Now the thickness of this watch is only 11.5 millimeters. And I may be getting this a little bit wrong, but I'm pretty certain that when this watch was created, it was the thinnest 300-meter automatic dive watch on the planet. A little bit tough to believe, I'm sure, but I'm pretty certain I'm close, if not correct in that. I happen to like that a lot. In my opinion, over the last couple of years, the size of watches have come back down to a normal wearable size. You know, back in 2002 to 2007, it was bigger, 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 bigger. One of the things I always laughed at was those Zenith Defy watches that were just enormous. So let's look at the case again. It's a 300-meter watch, like I mentioned to you. So water integrity is good up to 300 meters. The case also has drilled lug holes. You know, you'll notice that in watches that you see like vintage Rolex Submariners and vintage Tudors and vintage Omegas. To be very honest with you, obviously it looks a little cleaner without those holes, but if you're a strap hound like me, if you really like to throw on a NATO and then switch it to a rubber and then switch it to a leather, having the holes drilled in the lugs makes a huge difference. It actually makes it much, much easier for the layperson to change the strap. So I really dig that on this watch. The other thing that I want to point out is the case finishing. It's got a really cool brushed finish on the sides of the case. The beveled edges are high polished and then again brushed on the lugs and on the top portion of the case. The bezel itself, the insert is not aluminum. I made that mistake when I was on the Urban Gentry. TGV asked me what's the bezel insert, and I rattled off aluminum, not knowing for sure, but it's actually stainless steel, and depending on the color of the bezel, it's either DLC or PVD coated. Extremely scratch resistant. I knocked this guy into a doorknob, and those of you who have done that, watch guys freak out when you're walking by a door and knocking on a doorknob, and I was sure I put some big gash in it. And if you get it in the right light, you can see a tiny little, it's not even a hairline, it's just in the right light, but it stood up a lot better than I thought it was going to. So, the case, you've got the size. It's 40 millimeters in diameter. It's 11.5 millimeters thick. When it's on the wrist, it is comfy. It goes under a shirt cuff if you choose. It's just really cool and refreshing to be wearing a watch that's not super thick. Solid case back that screws into the case. Now on the Nacken Blue, you've got, the cool snowflake hands. You've got a ton of lume. One of the things I'm going to show you in just a minute is the lume on all these watches. And what's really kind of cool is, and I've never seen it before NTH, is the crown there, if I can get that in focus, with the NTH logo, is actually lumed as well, which is really just a cool touch. So the pieces here, the Barracuda, the Santa Fe, and the Santa Cruz are ones that are, focus there. This Barracuda, the Santa Fe, and the Santa Cruz are watches that he has produced. There are very, very few left. I have a handful, not even a handful. I have a couple of them here on WatchGauge. I believe Santa Cruz is the last one. I believe I have 2 or 3 of these. This is the last Barracuda I have, but I think Chris has a couple in his office, so I'm going to order a couple more of those just so I have them. But that being said, they're still wrapped up in plastic because these are watches I'm selling. I'm not going to rip the plastics off for a video. But I want to show you the bracelet. The bracelet itself, and by the way, the Nacken comes on a bracelet, and every sub that I sell comes with an additional rubber strap. So for the Santa Cruz, I like the royal blue here. For the Santa Fe, for the Barracuda, we get black. For the Nacken Blue, it's a navy blue. But let's look at the bracelet that comes on every single watch. First of all, solid end links, great brush finish throughout. So solid end links, solid links, completely solid. A handful of adjustable links that are there for you so you can adjust that, so you can throw that watch on to any size. You do have a couple of half links, all right, so you can get much closer and fit. In addition to that, if you've got a large wrist, the watch itself comes with a couple of extra links in the box that are not on the watch. let me just throw this on real quick. I've got a 7.5 inch wrist, and I've got a ton of play in here. A ton of play. So, you know, you can have an 8.5 inch wrist, and the watch will be easily wearable for you. Folding buckle with a safety clasp, fine adjustment there. So again, once you size the watch to fit you, you can also do a really micro adjustment there to get a good fit. You've got buttons that you have to press, so you flip the safety lock, you press the buttons, it opens, secure as can be. So if you're diving with it, if you're doing anything crazy with it, it'll certainly work. Now let's get to the fun stuff. The lume. I mentioned the lume to you. The lume on the crown. I've got a UV torch here. I'm gonna turn off the lights and turn on the UV, and check that out. Check out that Santa Fe. So here we go. I'll charge up the Barracuda, the Santa Fe, Santa Cruz, and the Nacken Blue, and let's turn that guy off. Check those guys out, man. How cool are those? The one thing that I think Chris really nails is the lume on every watch he does. On my personal watch, on the Nacken Blue, it's a blue lume. It is such a cool color because most lume is green, and you know, a lot of it's the same. On the Nacken Blue, it's a blue lume. On the Nazario that we're doing a pre-order on, that has got actually a couple different types of lume, different colors. It's got 2 different tones of lume in it. So I'll try to get a picture of that. Oh, before I forget, I did forget. Let's turn these lights back off for a second. Let's pick up my watch here. Let me lume that crown a little bit. This is so awesome. I'm gonna try to focus. Come on, baby. Let's get some. So I don't see it focusing too well, and I can hear some traffic outside my window. Man, this video is really getting all the breaks here. So anyway, the crown itself, the NTH logo on the crown is loomed on every NTH sub. I'll pop these lights back on. So that's where we're at. If you guys have any questions at all, comment on YouTube in the comment section. On Facebook, there's comment section. You can email me. But I'll tell you what, the NTH subs are a banging watch. They're really awesome, really wearable, really comfortable. Miyota 9015 movement, super durable, super accurate, and so there we're at. Well, there you have it, guys. Those are the details on the NTH subs. I believe Chris Vail really hit it out of the park with this collection. As you know, as I've said 100 times, the Nacken Blue with and without date and the Nacken Black with and without date are only available on WatchGauge in a pre-order basis from now till December 15th. So if you like those, jump on those. The Nazario, it's a WatchGauge exclusive. It's never seen the market before. Nobody's ever had one on their wrist. And they're only available and only will ever be available through WatchGauge. I think it's a fantastic watch. It really pays a great homage to one of the coolest Rolexes ever. And so if you like any of those, jump on WatchGauge.com. You have till December 15th to place that pre-order. Once that pre-order's in, no more orders. All right, so do that. As always, anything you want to say, whether it's positive, negative, reach out in the comments below here on you if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, same thing. You can always throw comments in there. I'm happy to reply. I am very accessible to you guys. Lastly, and certainly not least, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. And thank you guys so much for your support. As always, I am literally having the time of my life. I'm living my dream with WatchGauge, with brands like NTH and so many others. And I really can't say thank you guys enough. I really appreciate it. And we'll get back at you really soon. Look out for our next video. Take care.